King Charles has been spotted beaming at the first garden party of the year. The King, who recently returned to public engagements despite still receiving treatment for cancer, hosted the garden party at Buckingham Palace with Queen Camilla by his side. Other royals, including Prince Edward and Princess Anne, were in attendance, but his son Prince Harry was at another event. Prince Harry arrived at St Paul's Cathedral for a service to mark the 10th anniversary of the Invictus Games without his wife Meghan Markle. Now, notably, Harry's uncle and aunt, Charles Spencer and Lady Jane Fellows, who are brother and sister of Princess Diana, were among the attendees at St Paul's. Now, despite being just a few kilometres away, there will be no meeting between Prince Harry and King Charles.
Despite everything, the crowds were pleased to have him back. Walking into St Paul's for an event that meant the world to him. Family were waiting, but not the royal side. Instead, Princess Diana's brother and sister wanting to share this moment with him as he marked 10 years since he launched his Invictus Games with a reflection on service.
Now, there are varieties of gifts, but the same spirit. And there are varieties of services, but the same Lord.
Surrounded by his military family, his wife Meghan wasn't there, and neither was his father. As across London at Buckingham Palace, the other side of the family were instead supporting the King. At his first garden party since being diagnosed with cancer, apparently one of the events that made meeting Harry impossible. Whatever's going on, the contrast to the support they showed him 10 years ago at the launch could not be more stark. For anyone who was hoping for any signs of reconciliation, that phrase that his father had other priorities does not read well. You then couple it with the fact that the Windsors seem to have snubbed the event here and the Spencers turned up. You can't help but be reminded of the tragic family split we saw in the 1990s. Despite all the negative headlines, you can't deny the impact his efforts have had.
Thank you, Invictus, for giving me my wife back.
Thank you, Invictus, for giving me my life back.
Former GB captain David Wiseman is now on the board, a good friend of Harry, and keen that all he's achieved isn't overlooked.
He's a veteran himself. He did 2 combat tours in Afghanistan. He's always said that's really where he sort of felt really at home in the military community. And so obviously this is something, it's a success story for him. It's something he's proud of, and we're proud of him to be involved.
The departing walkabout was brief and carefully controlled. Whoever's at fault and has really stopped the family from meeting, it was now too late. He was gone.
I can't believe it. It's pretty big news that the King will not be meeting Prince Harry while he's in the UK. What's Buckingham Palace had to say?
Yeah, look, it's a little bit sad, isn't it? I mean, after all of this build-up for weeks and weeks, speculation that this would be the big moment, Charles would, see his son, possibly that Harry would even see the Prince and Princess of Wales. And yeah, I mean, nothing. I mean, the King has been very busy. He's had a full week of engagements, and he made it clear he didn't have time in the schedule to see his son Harry, probably adding a little bit of salt to the wound. He did RSVP yes to another event next week for Prince William, but obviously he wasn't at Harry's Invictus Games Cathedral service earlier today. So yeah, it's kind of sad actually.
It shows you just how deep those wounds really are between the two, right?
Absolutely. I mean, this I guess estrangement has gone on now for over 4 years, and as time goes on, and the King is obviously battling cancer and focusing on his own health and his reign. Yeah, it's not looking good, is it? I
think that's why there was speculation that the King would make time for Prince Harry, because he's battling cancer, but he's made his decision.
He has. I mean, yeah, it is. It's a sad one, but look, Harry seemed to be in high spirits. He looked quite cheery in the photos and the vision that we've seen at the service earlier today. So yeah, onward and upwards, I guess.